let's talk about what you must have, right? We're talking about what skills sales managers need. If you're watching this video, I assume that you're a sales manager who's looking to improve your leadership skills or improve performance. Or you might be a leader who's looking for how you can improve the effectiveness of your sales managers. Either way, we've got you covered. As we dive in, I really want to say that when I think about the skills that sales managers need, it makes me think of our client, Rebecca. And I think Rebecca has coined this better than anyone I know. And she talks about going from the leaderboard to leadership.
Yes.
And the skills that you need to be a top performer in sales are not necessarily the skills that translate to being an effective sales manager. Can we start there and talk about that?
Yes. I think if you've ever been in sales, you really understand this.
Yes.
Because an effective salesperson that was successful and was a quota hitter is not necessarily the right person to have in your sales management team.
Yeah.
There are skill sets that sales managers need that salespeople typically
don't have.
They just don't have.
Yeah.
They're not even interested in having.
Right.
So one of the things that I think is super important with regard to a sales manager's skill set is really creating a why for the whole team.
Oh, I like that. Tell me more.
So I'm going to tell you more in the form of a story.
Okay, come on now.
So one of the first opportunities that I had as a consultant was I helped a boutique agency win their first $1 million deal with Discover Financial.
Receipts.
Yes.
Receipts.
Yes.
Okay.
It was beautiful. So what I did was I took the 5 or 6 leaders in the company that had zero sales experience.
Right.
It was the CEO, the chief technology officer, the operations director, and one of the account managers, and then there was one other person there.
Clearly they were forgettable.
Yes, they were. Just kidding.
Unless they're watching.
Unless they're watching. So we gathered in a room and I said, listen, we have 30 days to get to this presentation in front of another 6 or 7 Discover Financial stakeholders, and they were flying in for a tour. We got in the room and I said, everybody jump in the pool, stand up, introduce yourself, and tell what you do for the company.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work.
Why? What was
Because
wrong?
everybody can't stand up and actually say what they do in front of a room.
Oh,
that's not a
couldn't
skill
even-
set that everyone has. So
Oh,
we had to
okay.
hone it. So the reason I'm telling this story, we created a campaign called Be Your Excellent Best
I love that.
for the company. And all it meant was be your excellent best on the day of the presentation, not the day before, not the day after.
Yeah, just-
be your excellent best. Focus on that day. And everyone, we practiced and practiced and role played and practiced. And we looked at it as a game. That's another thing sales managers can do. Be creative. We looked at it as a game. So if we're in a meeting, you have, what is the game where it's like you can actually, call a friend, or you can do 50-50.
Phone a friend, a 50-50. Deal
All
or
that,
no deal.
Deal or no deal, or one of those. So there was, in the meeting, it's like, you know what? You don't have to know the answer to everything. You could do
Right.
50-50. You could call a friend. You could say to the CEO, is this a question you can answer? It builds credibility when you don't know the answer and you actually say you don't know the answer,
Right.
and ask someone that may have the answer to answer the question. Things like that. So sales managers really need to be a lot more innovative right now because the buyers are becoming much more savvy.
Right.
Just to bring your team together, knowing the why, like why are you going for the goals you're going for?
Yes. I love that. It makes me think of any leader. Any leader, I believe the call for leadership is to be able to cast a vision that your people, can buy into. And I love that you said it with a story, because story is oftentimes what brings us on one accord, right?
Yes.
If we have different perspectives, but you tell a story and we buy into the story, we see ourselves in the story, and then it just kind of aligns us on the cause.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I
And
love
then
that.
when you win, you can celebrate
Together.
what it was, what your why was. And then you have
Yes.
one focus to actually join in on and celebrate. And if you don't win, I don't know, because
because all we do is
that's
win.
not what we focus on.
I'm just kidding. We teach resilience
Yes,
too. Look,
yes,
you don't win
resilience
them all.
is good. You don't win them all.
You don't win
You
them
don't.
all. And
You just don't remember the ones that you did not win. Not as well.
But I think that brings up the next great point when we talk about you don't win them all. And when I think of the skills that a sales manager needs, I think of empathy,
Yes.
right? So, for myself as a sales individual, I'm a high performer, I'm a high achiever, and I'm self-motivated. which also means I'm my own worst critic.
Yes.
Right? So, and I find this with a lot of my peers in sales is that we normally go into sales because we like the achievement. We're the type of person who are driven by checking the boxes and scaling the mountain. So we're already motivated to win. And we're already crushed when we don't win. And when I think about the sales managers who were the most effective and influential for me, they were the people who could, when I was broken, pour back into me, refill my cup, empathize, encourage me, help me to re-strategize, help me to see how things are working for my good and how to fail forward. Like, those are the things that I think about are just really the empathy of a sales manager.
I love the fail forward part.
Yeah.
Literally, because if you take the anatomy of a lost deal or the anatomy of a deal that you've won, there's always something to learn. So to me, that's failing forward, whether you win or lose, right?
Agreed. And I think there's lessons in everything.
Yes.
There really are. I think about one of my sales leaders, Joe, and I'll never forget this because it was just one of those seasons. I came in the door killing. Like, you know, I was a new field sales representative for this healthcare organization, and I came in the door just killing it.
Yes.
Right? And there's a gift and a curse of that.
Yes.
Because when you come in the door killing it, you're like, I got this. It's easy, right? You're like, all I do is win. And then when you go through a season of, you know, stagnant growth, I was crushed because I'm like, what is going on? I came in winning. And the challenge with only winning is you don't always know the formula for how you won. Right? Because you're like, I came in the door like that. Oh my gosh, and I was so crushed. And it's funny because as high achievers too, we have short memory, like you talked about. And so like this probably was a few weeks, but for me it was like, I'm gonna lose my job. It's like, you know, I had these months of high performance, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'll never forget Joe said, he said, I make a lot of hires and I question a lot of hires I make. And he said, you were a certainty. He's like, there was no question mark about you. So he's like, if I'm not questioning you, don't question yourself. Shake it off. Take a breather, and let's figure out what we got to do. And that was the first time someone ever said something like that to me. And I was like, don't doubt yourself, right? Like, but it's just those little things of the empathy, the motivation that I feel like are critical.
Yeah, it's that coaching piece. That
say that. You know what? Listen, okay, that's a soapbox. I actually think we should veto the phrase sales manager.
Yes.
And I think they should be sales coaches. Can we talk about this?
Yes, sales coaches with management skill, right? In other words, forecasting, all of the things that we talk about all the time. But really, in this day and age, you're really coaching, and you're coaching to get the excellence out of each individual player on your team. Absolutely.
And I think language is important because when I think, first of all, we know that sales managers and sales leaders have low tenure, if you will. So if we look at the turnover of sales leaders, the average sales leader is only in their role for 18 months or less. It's ridiculous. But I think part of the problem is the culture we build around sales management. Because normally when I think of the sales managers or leaders, their hair is on fire. They are held to quotas that oftentimes is like, who came up with these numbers for quota, right? These unattainable goals. And oftentimes they're set up for failure because they should be coaching and developing their sales team members. But the busy work of all of the other things that they're pulled into, they're not able to do that effectively. So I think when we rename them to sales coaches, it puts the priority on where the focus should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe I read a study that said that most salespeople do not feel they're getting any coaching at all. I think it's like 75% of salespeople say they're never coached.
No.
And what's the importance of coaching? Coaching is all about bringing out the excellence in the person, letting them find their own unique way, you know, optimizing performance and things of that nature. So it then doesn't become just around what's on paper.
All right, so I think we kind of revealed what this video is about, which is what you must have is coaching capabilities and a culture of coaching. And this spreads way beyond sales. You know, I think all leaders should see themselves as coaches. My role as a leader is to bring out the best of each person on my team. So that means I have to study them, I have to give them skill sets, I have to give them feedback, I have to invest in their growth and development. And that's really what you must have in order to make sure that you're improving the skill sets of your sales managers. But let's go deeper into this conversation because maybe you're bought in. You're like, yes, I'll coach them, but how do I improve those skill sets? We got you covered. You ready to dive in, Cheryl?
Yes.
All right, click the next video and we'll see you there.